Rome was not built for ordinary men, it was built for survivors. Men who endured hunger, men who endured betrayal, men who learned early that mercy was a weakness Rome did not forgive. From the hills overlooking the city, a young boy stared at Rome's endless rooftops, a vast maze of stone, blood, and ambition. A city that breathed power, a city that consumed the weak. The boy did not yet know it, but one day, boy saw what his name. This boy was Julius Caesar. Born into a noble but struggling family, Caesar's childhood was shaped not by comfort, his bloodline was ancient, respected, spoken of with quiet admiration, but its power had faded. In Rome, history alone meant nothing. Glory was remembered, weakness was inherited. Caesar grew up understanding this truth before he fully understood himself. While other children laughed and played without thought, Caesar listened. He listened to elders speak of heroes who rose too fast and fell even faster, of generals who won wars but lost politics, of a republic that called itself free, yet crushed anyone who threatened its balance. Rome was proud of its traditions, but terrified of change. Caesar absorbed every word, every warning, every lesson carved by failure. In the busy Roman markets, he watched people argue, trade, and negotiate beneath the burning sun. Voices clashed, coins changed hands, promises were made and broken. There, Caesar learned something most men learned too late. Power did not always wear armor. Sometimes it wore words. A man with no sword could still command a wow. A whisper could travel faster than an army. Even at a young age, Caesar questioned everything. Why did some rule while others obeyed? Why did soldiers bleed while senators survived? Why were brave men buried quietly, while cowards lived long lives? These were dangerous questions. At home, his family spoke often of honor and legacy. They reminded him that the name Caesar carried pride and danger. In Rome, names were remembered long after bodies were buried. To rise too quickly was dangerous. To remain weak was fatal. Caesar learned to walk carefully between the two. When servants struggled, Caesar helped without hesitation, not for praise, not for kindness alone, but to understand people. He watched how gratitude was born, how loyalty formed silently, without command. Loyalty, he learned early, was not demanded. It was earned quietly and remembered forever. With wooden swords and imagined battles, he practiced movements he had seen Roman soldiers perform in the streets. Each swing carried purpose. Each step copied discipline. He did not play at war, he prepared for it. At night, under a sky filled with stars, Caesar wondered what role fate had prepared for him. His dreams were never small. Rome was always at the center of them. Caesar's education was strict and unforgiving. Tutors drilled him in reading, writing, philosophy, and history. They taught him of ancient kings, fallen empires, but above all, they taught him speech. In Rome, words could win battles before swords were drawn. A well-timed speech could turn enemies into allies. Silence could terrify more than threats. Caesar understood this deeply. He trained his body alongside his mind, because in Roman society, strength commanded respect. From a distance, he watched soldiers drill, memorizing their formations, their silence, their control. They did not speak while training. They obeyed instantly. Discipline fascinated him. Alone in the courtyard, Caesar repeated their movements again and again. No applause. No audience, only improvement. Horse riding lessons tested his courage. The animal resisted. The ground punished. He fell. He rose. And each fall strengthened his resolve. He learned not to fear pain, but to fear stagnation. Quiet moments of reflection taught him patience, a rare trait among the young. While others rushed toward glory, Caesar waited. Scrolls of military strategy fascinated him. Not stories of victory, but explanations of why victories happen. He learned that wars were often decided long before the first strike, before the first march, before the first command. Maps became puzzles. Armies became pieces. He rehearsed victories that existed only in his mind. Teachers noticed his sharp memory, his hunger to learn, and his habit of asking questions others avoided. Unlike others, Caesar did not accept answers easily. He studied how leaders spoke, how they paused, how silence could command as much power as words. He noticed how fear changed voices, how confidence shaped crowds, Every lesson pushed him closer to something greater. By sunset, the boy was already becoming a leader. Rome was ruled not only by laws, but by whispers. Caesar followed voices into shadowed halls where senators argued fiercely behind marble columns. He did not interrupt, he observed. Faces filled with greed, eyes filled with fear, voices shaking behind authority. He learned that power was rarely honest. Every argument revealed weakness. Every alliance revealed opportunity. Caesar remembered names, gestures, broken promises. He saw fear control even the most powerful men. At night, he replayed these debates in his mind. Rome was not united. It was fragile, divided. The Republic survived not through strength, but through balance. And balance could be shattered. Caesar realized that true control came from understanding people, not ruling them, but knowing them. He imagined himself standing where the senators stood. The thought did not frighten him. It excited him. Rome needed order, and Caesar believed he could provide it. Bravery begins with small choices. When others ignored suffering, Caesar acted. He defended weaker children without hesitation. In crowded streets, he stepped forward when trouble arose. Not loudly, not recklessly, but decisively. Each action earned him respect and enemies. He explored forgotten corners of Rome, learning its secrets. He studied ruins as warnings of fallen power. Every fallen structure whispered the same message: nothing lasts forever. Helping strangers became natural to him. Leadership, he learned, was service before command. He watched gladiators train, men who faced death for entertainment. He saw discipline, pain, sacrifice. Strength alone was not enough. Courage required purpose. Caesar began earning loyalty without demanding it. People followed him without realizing why. People noticed. Rome always noticed. Even small victories shaped reputation. And Rome was built on reputation. The boy was becoming known and watched. At night, Caesar stood alone. The city slept, but his mind did not. He questioned fate. Was power chosen or earned? Moonlight revealed Rome's beauty and cruelty. A city capable of greatness and destruction. He promised himself greatness, not for glory alone, not for praise, but for control over chaos. Failure was not an option. Rome demanded strength. The city prepared unknowingly for change. Soldiers marched through the streets. Armor clashed, standards rose. Caesar watched carefully. Wars were coming. Power struggles would tear Rome apart. He studied laws and their weaknesses. Every system had cracks. Rome was no exception. He practiced speeches alone, testing tone, testing silence. Words would become his greatest weapon. Rivals emerged. Caesar memorized their flaws. The boy had become dangerous, not with violence, but with intelligence. The Republic stood unaware. History was already moving, slowly, relentlessly, toward one named Julius Caesar, and this was only the beginning. Rome did not yet know what it had awakened. The boy who once watched from the shadows would soon step into the light. His ambition would challenge traditions older than centuries. His intelligence would outmatch generals, senators, and rivals alike. Friends would become enemies. Loyalty would be tested. And Rome itself would stand at the edge of change. Because the boy Rome ignored would grow into the man Rome would fear. History would remember his name: Julius Caesar.